Hello there. Welcome to the Leaders of Continuous Improvement podcast. My name is Arjun Patel, and you'll be hearing from the top operational experts in the industry that deal with the chaos of trying to lead projects and Kaizen events that improve processes and eliminate waste. This podcast is meant to provide tangible advice, case studies, interpretations, and ideologies of all things continuous improvement. It really does take transformational change to do a continuous improvement manager's job. So, welcome to the Leaders in CI podcast. On today's podcast, we'll be covering the subject of safety improvements with our special guest, Sandeep Katyal, who's had plenty of experience working in safety environments as an EHS and continuous improvement manager. Here is Sandeep himself.
So I'm a mechanical engineer, and I also did my MBA from India, and then I moved to Canada in 2001. I joined a company called Masonite Inc., and I started very low as a door maker in the night shift. So I started working there and started learning the raw materials they were using and their production and manufacturing system, but I did fairly well, and very soon I was promoted as the lead hand. And then I decided, once I got stable, I thought I should upgrade myself by going back to school along with my job. So I joined the lean manufacturing in Ryerson University, along with little focus on occupational health and safety. And very soon I got another job with Techniplex group of companies as a lean manufacturing leader.
That's incredible. You went from door maker to lean manufacturing leader in what seems like a very short amount of time. And this is not even half of the experience that you have on your LinkedIn, which is really insane. What were some of the interesting projects you had in your first role as a lean manufacturing leader?
After joining that company, I was assigned a task of grind usage of PVC and streamlining that process, which I did fairly well. And it was also an environment-friendly project where I had to minimize the waste that is generated during the product and also improve the safety of the people while also making the changes much quicker than they were. And our major customers were Walmart and Home Depot. They used to do time study when they came to our plant, and they actually timed us in doing the quick changes on the line. So before I joined, the one product changeover used to take half an hour, and I worked with the maintenance team to make all the auxiliaries which were used in the extrusion lines more mobile, so that we reduced the usage of the forklifts. So what it did was, it not only it made our changeovers more quicker, it also made them more safer, because the accident rate during that time was very high, generally because people were under pressure, and when they were moving an auxiliary, it will fall, and let's say it fell on somebody's foot, it would seriously injure them. And by making them mobile, we added the polymer wheels underneath those auxiliaries, so somebody would just push them and remove the ones that was already on the line.
Wow, this was an incredible example of a lean process improvement. It was an incremental change that seemed to improve the productivity 10x from where it was originally. So Sandeep was tasked with, minimizing the waste generated, improving the safety of people, and creating faster iterations based on one specific process in the production line, which made changeovers take at least 30 minutes. He realized that, the auxiliary was hard to move around because they had to use forklifts, and the more that they used forklifts to do changeovers, it resulted in safety incidents. So what he did was he took the maintenance team and figure out a way to make the auxiliary unit more mobile or more transportable, so it was easy for people to move. And after doing so, the changeover event became a lot quicker and it became a lot safer, with safety incidents immediately reducing. Um, and that's all you could hope for. He accomplished his goal of minimizing the waste generated, improving the safety of the people, and creating faster iterations on product. And this was all due to one incremental change of a project that he implemented and worked with other teams to implement. So, good job, Sandeep. Here's Sandeep talking about one of the other projects he did for a different company.
And one of the project that I did was the streamlining of all the chemicals inside the plant, and also color codification of grease, solvents, and lubricants. So that minimized the time which was taken for doing the preventive maintenance, also reduced the machine breakdowns, because some of the breakdowns used to happen when the oils used to get mixed up, especially with the new mechanics. They're not very familiar with the names of the oil. So in order to make the things easy for them, we assigned unique color to each and every oil or grease. So we noticed that it was easier for the new mechanics to recognize the color instead of the name of the lubricant. And then we also use the paint pens to mark what type of color goes into the lubricant point. So outside the lubricant point, we would draw like a circle with the paint pen. So if it was a red color, then the same red color was table of that particular lubricant, which was posted outside the oil storage area. So he would recognize that, okay, the red color goes, so he would uh, take the oil which had the red color, and that would go into the lubricant point. So at the end of third month, our errors due to the oil mix-up were zero, which really helped. Now in the machines, actually, inside the machine, the oil is just like the blood in the human body. So
Yeah.
that's why if you mix the blood with different blood groups, it doesn't go well. So that was one of the good thing which happened from this project, that our breakdowns became zero due to that particular error.
This was another great example of what an incremental continuous improvement project can do for an organization. All Sandeep was looking at is, how can I solve one problem that could make the biggest impact? And for this instance, he used color coding to be able to accomplish the goals of his project, which is absolutely amazing. It really goes back to that concept of, like, 80/20, where 20% effort results in 80% maximization. And I think Sandeep really encompasses what that means in these two specific examples that he went over. It seems like you had a lot of training and education and even a illustrious amount of experience uh, throughout your lean continuous improvement strategy. Like, when you think about approaching improving processes around, like, safety, what how do you think about these problems? Like, what do you uh, what are you looking for?
Well, safety is the foundation of the entire organization, especially by using the tools like 5S and autonomous maintenance. We can certainly make the things more visual, uh, and in addition, by using the Kaizen events and the team building process, they definitely help in improving the safety. And also, safety ties in directly with the morale in the plant. And lean manufacturing tools, they help in involving the people, like for example Kaizen events. When you select a team and explain them the current state and the future state of any project, and explain them the role that they will be playing in improving that process, get their suggestions and that how we can make the things better, In that way we can get a good buy-in from them, and then when we organize the Kaizen events, uh, try to make the things more interesting for them, like arrange the lunch for them while they are helping with the Kaizen event, make them
Yeah.
feel special when they are doing that project. In that way they become more interested, and since they are the ones that who are using that, they are actually our customer also. It's like your customer only helping us developing the process.
That's an interesting way of putting it. Uh, where you're the people that are helping you implement these strategies, you consider them like your customer, where you're trying to add value to their lives. So it's almost like a symbiotic relationship. You know, you're trying to add value to each other, and
Definitely.
I definitely think that that approach is what a lot of other companies should invoke as well. Um, I'm curious, uh, do you use any specific tools or like software or to manage all the ideas and ideas you have around continuous improvement?
Well, the visual tools are very much recommended in this, and also um, any kind of tracking sheet where you can track the type of projects that are going on, taking the before and after pictures, and
Hmm.
sharing them with the rest of the team. That really helps. I have not used any tool in uh, any particular tool uh, to implement lean manufacturing, because there are so many. Every project requires different types of tools. But
Yeah.
yes, the visual tools are is the one that is common. The visual tools and the team building approach that works in
Mm.
project.
That makes perfect sense, and it seems like uh, continuous improvement is a very vague term, and it could mean a lot of different things. So it's hard to find one specific tool that would help you with that process. Um, so I guess like what are some like lean strategies that have worked for you and that have failed as well?
I think the best one that has worked for me is Kaizen events
Hmm.
and 5S, along with the color codification. I also used it in implementation of the lockout tagout program,
Yeah.
where different sources of energy have to be identified by the operator. So each source of energy has a different color code. Like electrical would have red, water would have blue. Uh, there's no hard and fast rule what type of color you want to assign. Just work with the team over there that what color they want to assign, so that it goes well with them. And then I always notice that color coding really goes well with the operators out there, unless they have some color blind things. But generally all the companies, when they uh, hire their people, they do test them for the color blindness.
So Kaizen events and 5S have been, uh, would you say transformational in terms of like how you approach lean processes?
Definitely. And I also, Arjun, I saw your software, and I was really impressed with how you have almost all the tools under one place in your software. You have a lot of checklists over there. Those formats definitely can be used. When I was implementing this, I didn't have the luxury of using that type of software. This I'm
Y-
talking back in 2007 and 2008. But
Yeah.
definitely, if today I get something like what you have made, where you can get all the type of tools under one place, that really makes the things very easy.
Yeah, yeah, like that was sort of the philosophy we had too, I used to be a plant manager at my father's manufacturing company, and one thing I realized is like we had all these different Excel sheets, we had all these different tools, and it was very hard
Yeah.
to centralize everything. I think yeah, having a tool to have everything in one place is definitely beneficial. Thanks, Sandeep, for being on the podcast. I think you shared really great stories about things that you've accomplished and things that you've done specifically on incremental changes that provided massive impact. And I think you've definitely demonstrated a good primer for what it takes to really improve safety initiative. It's not just improving safety; it's improving how you could efficiently improve safety within the organization. So thanks again, and thanks for being on this podcast.